Carlos is asking, what can smaller churches do to attract, keep youth compared to the more attractive youth, young adult targeted bigger churches?
And I think he also said something else on the bottom. The question,
he said the question came out of the topic of competition. So,
well, I'm going to be honest. I attend a small church. So this question and this thought always runs through my mind.
Yeah.
We're like, what am I doing wrong? Like I attend this church. I'm Omar, and really, I honestly think that my answer would be honest, be yourself, be transparent, give transparent relationships. Those that need life-giving relationships will stay. Not all churches are meant to be strong towers. Not all churches are meant to be castles. Some churches are meant to be tabernacles. Some churches are meant to be tents.
Yep.
And yet even that, no matter what church is, no matter how big or how wide, whatever size you are, make sure that it's life-giving. Make sure that it's life-giving. Make sure that there's food. Make sure that there's water. Make sure that there's community. Make sure that that's that. And don't be toxic, because even a big castle can be toxic. And let's be honest, bro, with the Carl Lentz situation, you saw that. The late Rabbi Zechariah, where big company, big churches, you thought they had it, Rabbi Zacharias,
right.
How many of his readings did you read? How many of his, we saw it, and then out of nowhere, man, then it wasn't life. I mean, his teachings were life-giving, but his family, his core, his board of members, what happened? And even with the same thing with Pastor Carl Lentz, I pray for both of their families and Pastor Carl, but the size doesn't matter. I think we've seen that, and the situations that we've seen have proven that. Yeah. What matters is what's on the inside. Be life-giving, feed, have relationships, and don't be toxic.
So back in August last year, my wife and I virtually started attending a church in the area that's bigger than the one we were attending before. It's not a mega church, but it's bigger than anything I've ever been in. I grew up in Kogop, so I know. So we've been attending that church. Just recently this year, here in 2021, I've been serving in the youth ministry there at the church. And so the youth group is obviously bigger than the one I'm used to. And I was a youth pastor before. So this is what I'm going to say, Carlos, is from the interactions I've had, I've spoken to the youth pastor many times. He's a good buddy of mine that I've grown close to. And the youth ministry that is functioning there and working there, I'll tell you, there is no big difference in how it's run, the heart behind it, the attention to it. What I will say, young people won't always remember what you've said, but they'll always remember how you treated them. They won't always remember every sermon, every teaching, every but they'll remember the way you loved on them when they came in the door. And maybe they didn't show up in the last 2 months, but when they came in that door that one Sunday and and I'm not saying you don't do this, but, and you loved on them, they're going to remember that. Not every church is meant and built and can even honestly handle a youth group of 100 kids. They just can't. God gives. And it is when God gives you people that come to your church, into your ministry, and you serve them the best of your ability. And that way, when it's time for them to go somewhere else, or if they leave or if they stay, you did the best that you could with them. It's okay that other churches have more and other churches have less, and you only have, that's okay. The whole point is that we're all working together to try to get all the young people. I'm not going to get all of them to come to my church, but if we can get as many young people to come to church, period, we've won. But yeah, when it comes to what can smaller churches do to attract, and this past year in 2020 has been a difficult year for mega churches, celebrity pastors, people that I've respected and admired from afar and listened to the sermons and was blessed by their ministries. It seemed like there were other things going on. And there is such a thing as, people are like, I don't know if I want to go to a mega church anymore. I think I want to find something smaller, somewhere where the pastor actually knows my name, somewhere where I can actually, be more in touch with the leadership. So I think that time is coming for young churches or for smaller churches to have an opportunity to see a growth in their congregation. But you just do what you can with what you have in front of you.
To Carlos and to all those small churches, I come from one. And I'll say this: size of your ministry or of your youth ministry isn't God's punishment.
Mm-hmm.
It's God's test of character. And that would show how faithful can you be, if it's big, if it's small, how faithful can you be?
Right.
In the end, I don't want to be popular. I want to finish well.
Good. I mean, Carlos, awesome question. I know that especially right now with the pandemic, like even churches that are bigger are still not seeing all their people back right now. So, and honestly, like, sure, there's like churches that are bigger are going to get more people, but right now, as things barely start opening up, not everybody's going back, and not everybody will go back to the same place they were before everything shut down. Like that's just, and we're like, and I'm just speaking for myself and my family that we were one of those that were like that. So